Hello, eavesdroppers. Welcome back to another pop culture tarot reading. I hope you all are feeling like $1,000,000. On today's episode, we are going to do something a bit unorthodox for the channel. I'm going to introduce a new segment, and this is Can We Talk? We just want to do a candid discussion before we get into pulling some cards. And I want to talk about today the ritual hidden in plain sight, mainstream media, and the spiritual contracts. Okay, a tarot reading on what is actually going on with the Black Death that we keep seeing. Especially what feels like ritualistic sacrifices to water. Because I got a download that this is deeper than just what it looks like. It's even deeper than just race. Okay, so we want to look at what's going on behind this. All right, everything I say in this reading is alleged, and for entertainment purposes only. I have no proof, so take it with a grain of salt. All right, y'all. So I don't even know where to start in this reading because this download came to me roughly about 3 days ago. I put some notes in my note app on my phone. And I'm like, okay, how do I approach this? Because I don't want to offend anyone, but I want to look into what I feel like could be contracts that are being honored here. Okay. If you all are keeping up on, the energy and the social steer about the water. People are saying, watch the water. What is the water telling us? There's a lot going on with the water here. The planet is majority water, and it carries a lot of memories. Water is very significant. It's very spiritual. So I wanted to see what the connection was here. And we're going to be looking at not only the death of Nolan Wells, who passed in water, Cyrus Carmack Belton, who passed due to the Asian shop owner saying he stole some water. And there's been a numerous amount of deaths that have happened that are not getting a lot of the spotlight, as everyone seems to be focused on Nolan. There are other young men and women who have come up missing or lost their lives in bodies of water. And there are even lynchings going on in trees and so forth and so on. And I want to know what this is. What is the energy that is coming from this? Okay, so this is going to be a little bit different. Let's get into this. So in this reading, we're going to deep dive into a profound and layered tarot reading that explores the dark intersection of mainstream media, spiritual contracts, and the ongoing commodification of young Black bodies. There's a hidden currency in modern entertainment, and this reading aims to pull back the veil on how artistic expression is often manipulated into modern-day spiritual traps and ritualistic trade. We analyze the deeper esoteric meanings behind the disturbing recurrence of death rituals, specific symbolic imagery, and the thematic trends normalized in music videos, films, and major media events. Who or what is truly feeding on this energy? By looking through the spiritual lens, we examine the ties between systemic exploitation, industry contracts, and ancient water deities that govern trade, illusion, and sacrifice. This is not just commentary on the entertainment industry. It is a critical warning about the spiritual discernment that we all need at this time. We break down how cultural aesthetics are stripped of their sacred protection, commodified for mass consumption, and weaponized against the very collective that created them. So we are going to recognize these energetic traps and protect our frequency and break the subconscious cycles of compliance that modern media attempts to instill in all of us, okay? So let's get into this. What I wanted to do first, and this is the Can We Talk portion of the reading. What I wanted to touch on first is just the names of the last two stories that have been really big in the headlines, which is Nolan Xavier Wells. We're going to break his name down and what's the symbolism in that. And we also want to look at Cyrus Carmack Belton. I felt I need to pull on these two, not to suggest that, the other names are not important. They all are. But I wanted to start with these two. We may, explore this further in another reading. So we're going to start with Nolan. Nolan was born August 9th, 2007. He was 18 years old. His birthday does reduce to the number 8. What does the number 8 mean? Well, the number 8 is about learning the lesson, cultivating what you learned, and it's starting to stabilize a new reality for you. It's the cultivation and the culmination of all the lessons learned up to this point, and it's a number that is nearing completion. Okay, so Nolan's name is of Irish origin and a Gaelic surname, and it means champion, chariot, fire, or noble. It means to shout or to cry or a battle cry. Xavier means Basque. Xavier is derived from the Basque and Spanish cultures, meaning new house or castle. The origins from the Basque name Echeverria, which means the new house, also associated with Saint Francis Xavier, a co-founder of the Society of Jesus, the Jesuits, who dedicated his life to missionary work in Asia. And we know that Nolan was part Asian. In modern culture, it is most famously associated with Professor Charles Xavier, the genius, founder, and telepathic leader of the Marvel's X-Men movie. The name Wells, which this had totally went over my head initially, but the name Wells, what is a well? It's a water well. Okay, this is an Old English word, and it translates to stream or spring stream, someone who lives near a natural water source or a cluster of springs. He passed away in Ocean Springs, Mississippi. We're going to move on to Cyrus. Cyrus is a name that means sun, S-U-N, or far-sighted, and it has famously historical and mythological connections to water, as in the conquest of Babylon. America is considered modern-day Babylon. This is King Cyrus, the great conqueror, well, to some anyway. King Cyrus was the great conqueror, the impenetrable city of Babylon. He went into the city and he diverted the flow of the Euphrates River, allowing his army to march into the city through a suddenly lowered riverbed. The middle name Carmack, phonetically to me sounds a lot like Carmack, and it means the son of Cormac, which means the son of the charioteer. So we have two young men who lost their lives tragically, allegedly at the hands of people outside of their community, and both of them are showing up as the chariot. Cyrus Carmack Belton is the charioteer. Well, on the chariot card in the tarot deck, the charioteer is the person that you see standing or sitting, directing the will of the two sphinxes. Okay, so let's go into this. Again, the son of the charioteer or the son of the raven. Okay, his last name Belton means a settlement on a farm or a specific mottled coat pattern seen in hunting dogs. It also means bold, a belle, beautiful, and it also means interspace, having a beautiful interspace. And we talked about this in Cyrus's reading, also in Nolan's reading, also in Carmelo's reading, which Carmelo's name also sounds a lot like karma. I talked about the fact that I feel that these young men have a light inside of them, and Cyrus is showing up as the light. He represents the sun. Nolan was a Leo. He represents the sun. But it's a beautiful interspace that these young men and women possess. It's a light that these other people are trying to capture. But the name also means gun dog. It's a breed of dogs that assist hunters, and they are accustomed to working alongside firearms. Now, I want to point out that Cyrus was hunted down, I believe, by Mr. Chow's son. I don't believe it was Mr. Chow, allegedly, but he was hunted down, and he was unalive, pew-pewed in the back, like a dog, like he was nothing. So I wanted to know, what was the deeper meaning? Now, Cyrus's birthday is February 6, 2009. February 6, 2009 equals the number 10, which is completion. So we're nearing a completion, the number 8, the number 10. I haven't done Carmelo and the rest of the young people because there's too many. And this is not about one individual person. I just chose these two names out of the group because I wanted to see what message I got, any similarities, any some things that may have felt like coincidences, but there's no such thing as a coincidence. I want to get into this reading, and I want to see what's really going on here. I want Spirit to show me why. What contract is being honored here with these water deities? I feel like I need one more thing I need to discuss with you all. I did. I wanted to look up the chariot, and I wanted to know if the chariot was possibly in the book of Revelations, as I know the book of Revelations does talk about the 4 horsemen of the apocalypse, and sometimes the chariot does show the charioteer being pulled by 2 horses instead of 2 sphinxes. So the word chariot does not explicitly appear in the English translations of the Bible in the book of Revelations, but it is a symbolic function because it is represented by horses and their riders, which is the four horsemen, and the armies of heaven. These images draw directly from Old Testament chariot prophecies to symbolize divine warfare, judgment, and Christ's ultimate victory. So I think this is very symbolic. So we have divine judgment here. The horses and the riders in Revelation 6 parallel the four chariots of the prophet Zechariah. They act as an instrument of God's wrath sent forth from heaven to execute judgments like war, famine, and death. And what are we going through here in the United States, in the world right now, especially in the United States? There's an attack on the water, on the food supply, on the air even right now, for those of us in the northern hemisphere of America. So I thought that was quite interesting. Then we have the ultimate sovereignty here. While ancient nations trusted in physical chariots for military supremacy, Revelation portrays God's spiritual forces as the ultimate power. The riders represent God's control over global conflicts and human history. Interesting. And then we have the victorious Christ. In Revelation 19, Christ returns on a white horse, leading the armies of heaven. And remember, said the water was going to be lowered so that the armies could come in. I feel like that's the emotional bandwidth of the collective here. Everybody is in very low vibrational energy. The only people who will survive this are high vibrating people. So this is about the fulfillment of the ancient motif of the divine warrior and symbolizes absolute swift triumph over evil. This is so beautiful. So this is a symbolic lineage. The imagery in Revelation builds on earlier biblical chariot visions, particularly the fiery chariot of Elijah, symbolizing divine transport and protection, and Ezekiel's Merkaba, the mobile throne of God's omnipresence and glory. In Revelation, this fiery mobile presence of God is manifested through the Son of Man and his heavenly host. Well, remember, it said that the name Carmech was the son of the chariot, or the son of the raven. So let's look up those two. What does the son of the chariot mean? What could that possibly mean to us? Because it has to have meaning. I channeled this and I believe there's a message here. So in the son of the chariot, in the Greek mythology, the Pantheon was the mortal son of the sun god, Helios. Cyrus means sun. After demanding to prove his divine parentage, he begged to drive his father's fiery chariot across the sky. Unable to control the immortal horses, he scorched the earth. Interesting. Scorched earth is the page of wands, Leo, Aries, Sagittarius energy. Zeus struck him down with a thunderbolt. Okay, this is so nice, y'all. There's a message here, a deeper meaning here, and we need to tap in. Those of us who are of the light, those of us who are here to help humanity, the collective, we all have to tap in. There's a message here. Feels like a tower moment is happening collectively. We are in for some kind of rude awakening here. Let's look up the son of the raven and we'll get into the cards and see what the message is. When it comes to the son of the raven, this phrase is most commonly referring to the ancient mythology, though its exact meaning depends on the context. This is a Native American mythology. Well, who are the Native Americans? That's another conversation for another day. In the Pacific Northwest and California tribal lore, the creator figure is often called the son of the raven. For example, in Haida, or Lingid oral history, the raven is the trickster. He was the son of Kit Kai, I can't pronounce this word, Kit Kai Yastigi. I don't know. He was instructed by his father to help design the world and famously stole the sun to bring light to mankind. Stole the sun, stole the solar energy, stole the light. In Greek mythology, the raven is directly associated with Apollo. In several ancient myths, ravens were originally white messengers that were scorched black by Apollo, scorched again, black by Apollo after delivering unfavorable and scandalous news. In fiction and pop culture, the exact phrase or close variants feature in several fantasy series. It can refer to a blood-marked prince. The idea that a blood-marked prince, so the blood of the prince is marked. In the Game of Thrones universe, the Sons of the Raven, and the Warhammer 40K lore, or the Raven Son, epic fantasy book series by Nicholas Kotar. This is getting very deep, it's getting very interesting, and I feel like it'll get darker before it gets light, but this is all a part of the prophecy. Let's look into this. What is going on behind this culture of Black Death? What is going on? We have sharing space, whether it's moving in or feeling like home in each other's presence. You are aligning on a domestic level. This is the coming together of like-minded people, people who share the light. There's a plant here inside of a vase, and there's this shining light all around the plant. This is new life. This is vitality. This is the sun. Show me more. This is about sharing space. We have trust issues. You say you want closeness, but you're scanning for betrayal. Are you really protecting yourself or just pushing them further away? Okay. So there's trust issues. There's trust issues between the races. There's trust issues between individuals in the same communities, and we need to work through this and learn how to share space with each other. And because we're not doing that, we're all being judged. It's a collective judgment. We have back together. And this card says the honeymoon round 2 has begun, but the real tea is in how long it will last. Feels like a calm before the storm. We haven't seen anything yet. We have a sacred roar, and there is a bear here. It says you've held it in long enough. The healing begins when you give it voice. Speak and you will see the shift. You will feel the shift. We need to roar. There are definitely people who are experiencing righteous rage here. There is nothing wrong with speaking up. Okay, there's nothing wrong with standing your ground. This is a battle between good and evil. The next card is the energy thief. Not everyone who wants you deserves access. If you feel drained every time they leave, ask yourself what they're taking that you can't replenish. And there's a snake here. This is that Kundalini awakening. We have make a move, swipe, speak, show up. Whatever your move is, now is the time to make it. Waiting won't align. Your action will. We need to prepare. We need to take inspired action here. We need to not sit around and wait for something to happen, because something will happen. The bottom of the deck, we have a smoke signal, and there's a big crow here. There's a big crow. This could be a raven. It says something subtle is trying to get your attention. Don't wait for the full fire to believe it's real. Exactly what I just said. Do not wait. It's time for inspired action. Get your houses in order, people. We have the power couple here. Feels like love is the answer. It says you amplify each other's gifts and elevate each other's goals. You're building more than a relationship. You're building an empire. There's a new empire being built here, and only love will survive. We have centered calm. Reacting is easy, but choosing with wisdom takes grounded stillness. A decision born in chaos will carry its frequency. Again, as this tower moment is happening, we are not to be a tower. We are to let the tower fall, to make way for something more stable, better, full of love. But again, there's something we still need to give voice to. What do we need to give voice to? We have requited love. You don't have to wonder. You don't have anything to prove. You don't have to prove your worth. You are loved just as much as you loved. And that's what I said here. Love is the answer. Love is the cure to everything that ails us right now. Okay, we have here someone that is facing shadows. We got to do the shadow work. The Kundalini energy in this woman is completely uncoiled. The snake is at the top of her head. The crown chakra is activated. The crown chakra is the world card, Saturn energy, and that is the collective. And it's showing up under the energy thief, which is another snake. And it's saying here what you fear inside you might just be misunderstood strength, misdirected energy, or unprocessed pain. So this is saying all of our energy is being misdirected. So much hate, so much division. This divide and conquer energy is working, is prevailing because we're not tuning into our own ascension. And then we have steel corded. You cut them off, but not out. Your body remembers your field and remembers, and that's where they are still living, telling us to make a move away from the crowd. This woman is walking the opposite way from the crowd. And the bottom of the deck is to be a trailblazer. Yes, walk away from the crowd. When you walk into the unknown, you teach each other what's possible. Will you be brave enough to be the first? And there's a sword here. It's time to cut away the drama. It's time to cut away all of the nonsense, the chaos, the outside noise. Those of us who are here on our divine assignment must get on our jobs. I want to point out this card that just jumped out of the deck, and it's called the Chosen Legacy. It's showing me the DNA. It's showing me the birthright here. Just because it runs in your blood doesn't mean it has to ruin your life. You are here to choose differently. This is about changing the ancestral karma for those who carry ancestral karma, negative ancestral karma. We all carry ancestral karma, but those of us who are on the righteous side of things have nothing to worry about. But this is about righting the wrongs of the ancestors who have failed their bloodline. Speaking of some false knowledge here, just because you've always believed it doesn't mean it's true. What if what you know is actually what you were conditioned to believe? And it says we're all living in a fantasy world, and we need to rise above that and stop settling for what we're being told. Let's get some more oracle cards, and then we'll end with some tarot. Spirit, what is going on behind all of this black death? What is going on here? Especially to the water. What is going on here? What is going on? We have escapism, the Seven of Swords. This is the trickster spirit. We're being tricked out of our inheritance, which is a world full of peace and love and autonomy. This is a shame. This is embarrassment and shame and making a break for it, sneaky. And it makes me think of, I believe it is in the book of Revelations, where it talks about these people who run the country trying to hide in their bunkers, which we know they already have. I'm trying to escape the impending, the coming judgment. I also feel like this may be a mechanism to which they're keeping something at bay. Could be the water rising. They're trying to keep the water from rising, taking over the earth by making sacrifices to that water. Let's see more on certain water deities, Aquarius, moon energy. We have competence, the Eight of Pentacles here, Virgo energy, and this is about reputation, being reputable, the consummate professional, strong work ethic. I feel like they're working very hard on Virgo energy, working very hard to escape this contract. The contract is up. Show me more. We have the Sailor Moon, and this is about the rabbit, the water signs. Again, water energy. This is about love, the guardian of love and justice. It's about justice. Fights for justice and fights against evil. This is about empowerment. This is about queer representation, and it signifies the relationship between Uranus and Neptune, Poseidon, the god of the sea, and Uranus, the god of the sky, the primordial deities. In this instance, this is male energy, but sometimes it's female energy. Interesting. So I feel like this rabbit hole goes deep. It goes deep. So if you have Poseidon, I don't know if you all have seen the movie The Odyssey. We went to see the movie The Odyssey yesterday, and a lot of these things were mentioned. There were mentions of Poseidon, and obviously that is rooted in a lot of Greek mythology. So I do believe that there's truth in all mythology, not to be taken at face value, but there are messages in mythology from all different cultures. Everyone believes in their gods, their monsters, their demons, and these things are real. They exist in the 4D. Show me more of what's going on here. We have far. Something is going to happen down the road. This is a timeline. It says progress is being made, and it's also about how far we have come. Again, love is the only answer. Love is the only thing that's going to get you through this shift that's happening. It says here, someone has no home training, no couth, no tact, no class. Can't take them anywhere. Tacky, uncultured, secondhand embarrassment for their behavior. There's a lot of shame. There's a lot of guilt here that needs to be cleared from certain people's karma. Certain people, okay? And this is about behavior that someone is embarrassed by. This is the bull in the china shop. No respect for other people's spaces or things. Ill-mannered, rude, wild energy. Okay, so this makes me feel like this is an invasion, particularly of America, the continent of North America. There are a lot of people here from all over the world. And this inclusivity can be a beautiful thing, but you must respect the land and you must respect the people of the land. And you've been lied to about who those people are. So again, this is something in the DNA. This is cultural, this is cosmic, this is karmic, like I always say. We have inertia, the Two of Swords, Libra moon. This is about laziness and an unwillingness to change, being stuck or inactive. Again, we have to take inspired action. It says we are at a standstill, stagnant, refusing to make a move or a decision. This is also connected to cognitive dissonance, not wanting to face the reality of what is right in front of our eyes. We have denial, exactly, the Two of Swords again. Moon and Libra says we have mixed feelings, or we're torn, or we're in two minds. And this moon energy is connected to water, to the divine feminine. This is skepticism, feeling like we're damned if we do and damned if we don't. Between a rock and a hard place, confused, obtuse, being difficult, having one foot in and one foot out, turning a blind eye in cognitive dissonance. I just spoke it up. Give me more. Okay, we have here the Six of Swords, the lazy river, smooth sailing, moving to peaceful, calmer waters, more on the water, leaving trauma behind, travel, cruise, overseas trips, spirit guides, being spiritually guided, new love, not rocking the boat, and healing. So we got to go through the turbulent water. These waters are trying to rise. These waters are indicative and symbolic of the pain, the suffering, maybe of those who crossed the waters during the passage from one continent to another, sold into slavery. That's one possible thing that could possibly be true here. It feels like the water is holding a lot of memory, and there's a lot of people trying to keep it at bay. It feels like the water is receding as you make certain ritualistic sacrifices to it. So again, there's a contract here. This contract is up, and people are trying to extend this contract. It can't be extended forever. Why is this happening? Okay, we have the Six of Pentacles, Moon in Taurus energy. Beggars can't be choosers. You get what you get, and you don't get upset. This is generosity and giving from the heart. Should be appreciated. Reliant on the help or support of others, you must accept what's offered and don't be ungrateful. And that feels like a changing of the guards for me. These institutions that have been standing for so long, under the false pretense that they are here to help the people who have been receiving benefits through the current system structure, is saying that you get what you get, you can't be upset. You have to change the tide. Show me more. We're going to enter a period of really dark times before we get to the light. It says, this takes some getting used to. The Two of Pentacles, yes, this is a period of adjusting, finding balance, time management, work-life balance, juggling a lot, adapting to a major change here, but it brings balance. This is about keeping your head above water. Water, again, Two of Pentacles is Jupiter in Capricorn. And again, this means a lot of twists and turns here, a lot of unpredictability, ups and downs. What is going on here? We have proving yourself. The Eight of Pentacles shows up again. This is about us paying dues and mastering ourselves and the earth. This is a work in progress. We are making strides. We are earning our stripes. It's telling us to keep being productive, working hard. Again, those of us who are light workers, who are here to help, do your part. Put your best foot forward. And this is about repetitious effort. We also have someone is up to no good. We have the Seven of Swords. Again, this is the powers that be. And it says here, they are sneaky, selfish, cunning, trying to get away with something, con artists, and they're trying to escape their karma. Even a Six of Swords can be running away from your karma, but they're running right into that Seven of Swords. The past will be accounted for. The Nine of Pentacles shows up here. Nine of Pentacles is all about independence and self-sufficiency. Those who will survive will be those who know how to live outside of the system. This is about enjoying the fruits of your labor. Those of us who have our own gardens, know how to sustain ourselves, water, food, all of these things. It's going to be all about that. This is about a lifestyle where you're going to feel like you're the rich. Because the true richness is not money, it's being prepared, it's preparedness. So there's going to be a changing of the tides here. What we value is about to change. Okay, curiosity killed the cat is being nosy, not leaving well enough alone, opening Pandora's box, mind your business. So someone here has opened a portal. It makes me think of CERN, and CERN has been turned off now. They have lost their power. They're no longer effective with their methods, but they've already opened Pandora's box. Okay, Spirit is telling us to touch, to feel, to get in touch with ourselves, to feel, to be connected to each other. to work in union with each other. Again, crown chakra activation. Give me one more. What is behind these stats? We have the powers that were. The changing of the guards. Didn't I say that? The Hierophant here, Taurus energy. Pulling this card suggests the old guard, the patriarchy, institutions, or outdated beliefs have collapsed. The tower have collapsed or are being overthrown. Divine order is being restored. Educational, governmental, or spiritual structures are undergoing proper restructuring. New management, new rules, proper procedures, and standards are being implemented. Amen. Amen. In Spirit is saying we're going to come out of this. Beautiful. Sacral chakra energy here. Soul, heart chakra energy here. This is about vengeance. This is about the universe righting the wrongs, leveling the playing field. And we're all going to come out beautiful, shining stars. Now let's get some tarot to close this reading out. Okay, Spirit. What's going to happen to the powers that were? The powers that were. What is that about? You have the Ace of Cups. They're being replaced by love. Cancer, Pisces, Scorpio energy. The water again. Justice card in reverse. Okay, so Libra energy. This means that they are going to suffer negative karma for what they have done. They've been trying to escape. We have the Hangman. This feels like a sacrifice. We have the Five of Pentacles. We're coming out of poverty consciousness. Five of Pentacles reverse energy here. It says we are going to have improved working conditions, restored faith, and coming out of poverty. This is about our inner strength, our financial strength. This is a test of that. The old structures are falling away. The Hangman means that it's time for a paradigm shift, a new way at looking at something. We're all inverting this system. We're looking at it upside down because we're recognizing it is the upside down. We're getting enlightenment in a unique perspective. This is about altruism, all about love, sacrifice, dedication, flexibility, and this is about daring to be different. Again, walking away from the crowd because following the crowd is not the answer. It says a break from the past here. So whomever has been operating in unrighteousness, lawlessness, there's karma. What does this mean for us as the collective? We have the Ace of Pentacles. It's a new solid foundation, restoration, a new earth. Towards Virgo, Capricorn energy. We have the Five of Cups reversed. This means we're coming out of grief. We're learning coping mechanisms. There's hope and opportunities. And this is about rekindling old love. This is good news, acceptance, new relationships, restoring old relationships. Let's see more. Coming out of grief, coming out of sorrow. Weeping may endure for a night, but joy comes in the morning. We have the King of Swords, Archangel Michael showing up here with that sword. And we have the King of Cups. Both of these feel like spirit guides. Archangels. It says that respect is coming back. Faith, consideration, support, emotion, imagination, elegance, water again. But the King of Cups is over the emotions. He's in control. He's regulating his feelings and emotions. This is responsibility, reliability, secrecy, generosity, kindness, dignity, reserve, concern, good advice, and a good listener. And the King of Swords is truth, control, fair decision-making, intelligence, innovation. Yes, absolutely innovation, that Aquarius energy. Authority, honest authority though, clear, diplomatic talent, and lofty ideals. The Six of Swords is here. Again, Spirit guys, the Three of Cups, this is a celebrating that victory, moving to calmer waters. We're leaving the trauma behind. This is the calm after the storm. It says we have delight, joyful occasions, satisfaction, reunions, uniting with others, happy times, hobbies, good fortune, playful, hospitable, not lacking, awards, ceremony, and the harvest coming in. We have reconciliation, calming down, smooth sailing, resettlement, a beneficial change, relieving stress and getting rid of conflict and difficulties, going with the flow, and travel. That's the lazy river. This is what we have to look forward to. There's nothing to fear but for yourself. Understand that as this paradigm shift happens, there will be loss of life. Unfortunately, there will be a lot of grief. But again, weeping may endure for a night, but joy comes in the morning. Get your houses in order. I'll see you all the next time.